Welcome to Shree Magical Story. Your shadow is the ultimate metaphor for absolute, unquestioning compliance. It spends every moment of your life mirroring your every step, jump, and wave without hesitation. For a boy named Sam, that silence finally breaks. One morning, he stretches, but his shadow lags behind. He waves his arm fast, and the shadow responds with a slow, bored movement. The mirror is no longer in sync. The dark shape lifts away from the concrete and stands upright, becoming a three-dimensional silhouette that no longer depends on Sam's body for its form. It gives a small wave and walks away, leaving Sam standing in the sun without the dark companion that usually anchors him to ground. Sam feels a strange physical lightness, but it's accompanied by a sense of loss, as if a limb he has used his entire life has suddenly vanished. This is the reality of unconscious compliance. We rarely notice the silent, obedient layers of our identity until they stop following our lead. When we assume these quiet traits will always fall in line, their eventual departure makes it impossible to continue moving through the world the same way before. Sam reacts by trying to reclaim his shadow through force. He sprints down the street, chasing the dark shape, and attempting to physically pin it back to the pavement. He tries jumping, he tries spinning, and standing in the brightest sunlight, expecting the laws of nature to force the shadow back into its proper place. Nearby, Sam's dog Biscuit is caught in a different struggle. He barks and snaps at his own shadow, trapped in an endless loop of reacting to a reflection he doesn't understand. Sam watches the dog and realizes that while Biscuit still has a shadow, the relationship is based on confusion and involuntary reaction, not a real connection. Coercion fails here because you cannot command a piece of your own psyche to return through willpower alone. Treating yourself like a controlled environment only creates more resistance. Absolute authority over the self is often what triggers the rebellion in the first place. Grandpa Theo, a woodcarver who once lost his own shadow, suggests a different approach. He explains that the lost part of Sam isn't gone. It simply needs a reason to want to return. This is the process of individuation, acknowledging that the hidden or repressed parts of your character have their own needs and perspectives. Sam finds the answer by looking down into the water from a stone bridge. The ripples reveal an inverted purple-gray landscape where shadows from all over the town are moving and swaying independently. He sees his own shadow dancing across the purple grass. It moves with a rhythm and agility it never displayed when it was forced to mirror Sam's every skip. Understanding begins when we see our hidden traits as having their own value. They require space to exist, not just a set of orders to follow. Standing on the bridge at sunset, Sam stops trying to catch the shadow. Instead, he begins to dance, moving freely without expecting anything in return. This movement serves as an invitation. He is showing the shadow that they can exist in the same rhythm without one dominating the other. Below the surface, the shadow stops and watches. It begins to move with him, but it adds its own variations, tilting differently and jumping with its own style. It is choosing to participate. The shadow rises up through the water's surface, glowing with a golden edge as it flows back across the stones. When it finally touches the edge of Sam's shoes, the connection is restored. Look at the difference in the connection. On the left, every movement is perfectly mirrored, a sign of rigid compliance. On the right, the two figures move together, but the shadow maintains a unique stride and its own mathematical arc. These small variations represent an integrated personality. Different parts of the self are working together, but they are no longer fighting for the same space. Wholeness isn't about forcing yourself into a single, compliant shape. It's about giving the hidden parts of who you are the autonomy they need to walk beside you as equals.